When you walk away from a narcissist, this is what happens. I'm sure you want to know what happens when you walk away from a narcissist. Okay, my name is Busi. I am from Elevate Worth. Thank you for stopping by. I'm going to share with you 2 things that you should expect. 2 things that will happen when you walk away from a narcissist. Walking away is the only thing that you can do to save yourself, to gain freedom, to heal from this dreadful experience. Because as we know, or maybe you don't, a narcissist is not going to change. They can't change because it's a personality disorder. Maybe they don't even know they are a narcissist, but they know something is wrong somewhere. So they're just gonna function or operate the same way. A narcissist anywhere in the world behaves, talks, or it could be different languages, but they sort of like speak the same language, they use the same tactics, because narcissistic abuse is a cycle, right? The only way they can gain entry or control over you, or that can make you let them in, is by love bombing. They cannot just come and say, oh, hi, do you wanna hang out? No, they're just gonna try and charm you, because who doesn't like a nice person? Who doesn't like a person that comes across as welcoming, or everyone admires them and they know what buttons to press? Who doesn't want that? But it's fake, it's not real. That's not their true character or nature. Therefore, it's just an act that, not like when you go watch pantomime. They come on stage and then they wear costumes, and then when they get off the stage, they take off that costume. So this is basically what a narcissist is. Now they've got a mask and they try to wear that mask throughout the relationship, but it's not sustainable, is it? It's draining. Pretending to be who you're not, because you're having to remember what tactic you used and how it worked, and now they don't even know how to handle if it's a new situation. They haven't got the tactics to deal with that. So without further ado, you want to know what will happen when you've decided to set yourself free, which is very good. I clap hands for you, clap, because how else are you gonna heal? How? A narcissist will not give you rest, right? So now, because a narcissist thrives on control, they thrive on you admiring them, on you telling them they are the best. I've had, I promised, in a minute, just give me a second to explain this. I've had somebody say, how you treat a man will bring out, like it's dependent on you, how they're gonna come out to you. They said if you treat them like a fool, they're gonna be, yeah. Do you get what I mean? If you treat them like a king, you're gonna get the king. You're gonna get an experience like they're gonna act like a king to you. Okay. I don't know what to think about that. But what do you think? Honestly. Anyways, so a narcissist will deploy their tactic, which is hoovering. They are just going to try and see if they still got your number, although it's highly recommended to go no contact, because that way you can start processing what's happened to you. So now they're going to start to hoover. And the point of hoovering isn't that they've realized they messed up. The point of hoovering isn't that they want to reconcile. the point of hoovering isn't that they want to give you closure. No closure with a narcissist. No, because they don't think they've done anything wrong. If anything, it's you. It's you who's wronged them. So you need to apologize. You need to come back to them. So when they hoover you, depending on how your relationship has been like, or what assets you've gotten together, or if you've got any children, they might pretend to care. I mean, because when you were with them, they never cared about the kids anyway, because it was taking away their attention from them. So now they're just gonna continue hoovering. If you haven't changed your number, they're gonna call you. And don't mistake their call. It's not like a normal call where I can just pick up my phone and like, oh, I just wanted to chat with you. No, a narcissist will ring ya. If you don't pick up the call, they're just gonna continue ringing. You know, like they'll call, you know how you call, ring for a certain number of times, and then the call drops, and then they ring again. So you might find that if probably you'd left your phone and you've gone for a shower, when you come back to your phone and maybe your phone wasn't even on, the ringing tone was off, you'll find you have like 20 missed calls. And then you, because after dealing with a narcissist, you are still trying to come off the confusion stage. I mean, narcissists, they make you confused. So you're sort of like doubting yourself still, like, did I make the right decision? Was I wrong? Were they right? Or did I overreact? Yeah, so now when you see calls from them or a text message, it's not like they are wanting to have a conversation. They're just trying to see if they can get some narcissistic supply. They just want to see if you're going to react, if you're going to respond. And then they will gauge the temperature. Like, are you still controllable? Are you still, can the tactics still work on you? Because they're wondering, how did you escape? How did you escape? Oh, wow. Let me talk about my background, okay, with this narcissistic abuse. I lived in a narcissistic abuse situation for a good 18 years, 18, coming of age, seriously. I had no clue. I didn't know what narcissism was. And even if the universe sent me the word narcissism through a friend or maybe a workplace friend, no, workplace, yeah, through work, a work colleague. No, they were not a colleague. What are they? They were sort of like my employer, should I say? Yeah, but then we later sort of like adopted her as a sister or an auntie for my kids. And she adopted me as, you know what I mean? Like in talking terms. Now they say something about narcissism and then I just like ignored it. I was like, oh, whatever. Those were the early days. We didn't like build our, should I say friendship or sisterhoodship or whatever ship, whatever ship we've got. Yeah, so when I got to, I mean, it was like probably 10 years down the line, then I realized like, I was reading a book. I mean, you know, those e-books from Play Store, because I'm an Android user, yeah, from the Play Store. So I was looking for a free book and then I found this book and then I was like, oh, because I knew something was wrong and then I was just trying to understand, how can I help myself? How can I regain who I was? I mean, how can I rediscover myself? What did I even like? Why am I not even happy? How do I even make myself happy? I mean, narcissistic abuse? Oh. Right. So when I got to like dig deeper, like to delve into what is it, that's when the light bulb moment came for me. I could see all the stages of narcissistic abuse, how they love bombed me. I was promised that they're gonna be cooking. that they can look after babies, they can they just presented themselves as a full package. Like, compared to, what we know in society about men and women, they came across as if they are like in the middle. They are a man, but they can do women things. Is that right? Things like cooking, things like doing laundry, like cleaning the house. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So when they presented themselves as that, and not only that, they listened to me, they showed interest in me, and we had somebody mutual, and then it just brought my guard down. So they just like had an easy access. It was just easy for them now. So they just kept on like, they were making meals for me. I was like, oh my God, this guy is amazing. No guy had ever made a meal for me. No. No. Maybe just as a group, but not like my boyfriend. Doesn't sound right, does it? Like in my dating life, no guy had ever made a meal from scratch for me. We could go out for a meal and then they pay for it. That's as far as it went. So when I realized, you sort of like don't know when the love bombing stops, because one day you just wake up and then it's like you've moved from Earth, now you are in Mars. So you have to figure out what is going on. What do I do? You sort of like are that confused. You don't even know if you've done something wrong, or is this how a marriage should be like? Do you ask people? You haven't even had a fight, but things are no longer the same. If they were walking you to the bus stop, they just wake up with their own plan without even telling you. And you quickly snap into your own world of like, oh, okay, I have to survive this. But then you wonder, and then you sort of like want to make calls to understand what the situation is, and then they just like grey rocking you. And then now you're thinking, maybe there's something that I did wrong, but why won't they tell you? So that you can rectify the situation. So now, after they've done the hoovering bit, no, I didn't say hoovering. Hoovering is the next one. I'm getting ahead of myself. Give me a moment. Now then, after the love bombing, they will probably start to devalue you, because they have to feel good about themselves, and then while you feel bad about yourself. So that way there's equilibrium in the relationship, which is not good for you anyway. Not good. So when they're hoovering, as I've already mentioned, it's not like they want you back. No. They probably want the narcissistic supply that you used to give them, the attention that you used to give them, and they probably like are very, very angry at you for walking away. How dare you walk away from my grip? How are people going to look at me? How are people going to perceive me? How? Now they have to start looking for another source of supply. Not that they didn't have it. They didn't have any. There was things going on in the background without your knowledge. Guaranteed. Not even guaranteed. Okay. So the next thing, I said two things, right? That will happen when you walk away from a narcissist. The second thing is that they are going to smear. They will go on a smear campaign against you. What smear campaign looks like is that they will paint a picture about the events in the relationship, such that when the people look at the picture they've presented, you will be the bad guy. They will work hard to preserve their own image, because since you've taken off their mask, since you've discovered who they are, and people don't know who they are, they didn't just pretend to you, they pretend to everyone. Nobody really knows who they are because they act out. They do. So now the smear campaign is just dreadful. It's just inhumane, because the people that care to listen, your friends and family, will just believe them without asking you. So when you turn up, maybe it's at a party, without them being there, people are just like distancing themselves from you. And you wonder what's happened. What is going on? I mean, imagine this. You turn up at a church meeting and people are just like, I mean, church, you read the word of God, write the Bible, and you think everyone knows about forgiving one another. And also, if there's anything that is off, that you should talk to one another or bring another person so that they can mediate, and then no issues when you get into the house of God. But no, you just wonder what is going on, because what a smear campaign does is it happens behind your back, but then you can feel the effect. They're not hidden. They are you can touch them. They are invisible, but they're floating about, because you know how brainwaves work. I think that's the closest I can explain about that. So now, I think if you've got children, they'll find it hard to smear you to your children. But everyone else, from your neighbors, from your neighbors, outwards, as far as the earth goes. If there were humans in Mars, they will be communicating with the humans in Mars, so that even if you decide to relocate to Mars, they will be like, oh my God, no, not this one. You are such a bad person. How dare you treat this person like this? When it's actually is them doing that to you. So the two things, one is the hoovering, guaranteed, like I said in the beginning. Number two is smear campaign. It is so bad. 20 times bad, 100 times bad, 1,000,000 times bad to experience smear campaign. Especially when you thought this was love. I will do anything for love. But then this is what they're doing to you. I mean, just you can't wrap your head around narcissistic abuse. But that's what a narcissist will do. They'll be smiling at you like this, but they are simmering with anger. They are plotting. They are trying to find things. They actually have a document where they write, you did this, okay, so how can I sell this story to people so that people believe me? You did this. So they'll have a catalog of things they will use against you. And then you wonder, some people might tell you, how come they were saying this about you? And then you'll be like, I don't don't remember such a thing happening. Oh, why would they say that? You just feel disappointed, but at the same time, because you love them, yeah. So you sort of like, oh, maybe they didn't understand, or maybe they're the. If anything, you would think the person who's telling you is actually the one who's on the wrong. How ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is narcissistic abuse? It just makes a normal human unrecognizable. You become something that you can't recognize. You become, I mean, you you are confused. When you're confused, you can't think straight. When you're confused, you just like, it's like they've put you in a cage. So all you do is just react. If they put food in your cage, then you know, oh, I have to eat. If they open the door, you were like, am I supposed to go out? Do you know what I mean? When you're caged, you don't have your freedom. You're not experiencing life as you should. So that is what a smear campaign is. Actually emotional abuse. A smear campaign. Even the hoovering is emotional abuse. And narcissistic abuse on its own is emotional abuse. When it gets to be violent, that is when all the tactics haven't worked and they've run out of ideas. And the only thing they can do to preserve their image is to be violent. But that is also meant to silence you. But we cannot be silenced. We saw it, we lived it. Therefore, it's our duty to talk about it so that we prevent other people from experiencing it. If you're experiencing narcissistic abuse right now, I've made a video for you to report so that you can gain your freedom back. You can move from pain to power. And life, you're supposed to thrive in life. There's no way you're going to thrive living with a narcissist. There's no way you're going to thrive being pulled back in 20 times. Once you've walked away from a narcissist, for the love of God, don't go back. I let them in the second time. And boy, that is what led me to like really, really wanting to find out what is narcissism, because the way things were happening, I just could not understand. One time we were happy, so I think. The next time we're like strangers. It's like, in the Bible, when the Bible says something along the lines of people were building a Tower of Babel, and people from different parts of the world were working together and they spoke one language. And then God saw that, these people, when they're united, they can do anything. And then now they're building a tower because they wanted to see how heaven looks like. And then one day they just woke up and then God had created different languages. So they spoke different languages, so they couldn't communicate. So that's what narcissistic abuse will do to you. With that said, thank you for your time. I hope you found value in this video. Please like and subscribe, comment, share. See you next time. Bye-bye. Love ya.